Yellow. Yellow. Just make sure my microphone works. Still using the new laptop. Newish laptop. Still drinking water. Still drinking water. It's November 13th, 2016. Last time I talked to you guys, it was before the presidential election. Now it's after the presidential election. It's a new podcast situation. Maybe it's an old podcast situation. Anyways, my name is Jovan. This is my podcast called What Crazy People Think. Thank you for listening. Thank you for subscribing. Thank you for allowing me to be a part of your life for at least an hour, per week or so, I'm exhausted. It's been a long weekend. I took Friday off because originally, sorry for yawning. I took Friday off like 2 months ago because my friends were like, yeah, let's hike. No, it was my idea. I planned it. I was like, yo, guys, let's hike Mount Rainier, because it's Veterans Day. And on certain holidays, it's a free hike day or a free national park day. So you don't have to pay for a pass or anything. You could just go to a park and whatever, right? So I planned this out like 2 months ago, man. And then it just fell through. Like one of my guys, he has this crazy work schedule. So like he had to work Friday and then like nobody would cover his spot. So he was out, and then one of our other friends, he just flakes all the time. So I already felt like he wasn't going to come, but I still asked anyways. And then, And then one of my other guys that we normally hike Rainier with, he's in freaking Hawaii still. So he's not coming back until December. So we're going to try again to schedule all of us to go and hike Mount Rainier as a group. I went by myself, but like I didn't really go too crazy. I just woke up at 3 a.m, got on the road, drove to the mountain, got my headlamp on. What else? Got my camera, and just, hiked up like about an hour up so I can catch the sunrise and got some good ass pictures. So, yeah, I really like taking photos. I'm like an amateur photographer. I'm not doing like senior pictures and shit. Like I don't know how people should pose, But I just like taking pictures when there's no pressure, if you know what I'm saying. Like, oh, I want you to do my senior pictures, but I'm gonna have these for the rest of my life, and if you fuck up, then I'm gonna be really upset, So I'm just like, no, I'm just gonna take pictures of shit and in my clothing, and then that's it. So I like it though. It gives you it makes you become more creative. It makes you pay more attention to things. Like, I take Instagram really serious. Like, not like hella serious where I care, but I care enough where I don't like posting bullshit. Like, there's some people that will post these shitty pictures. And I'm thinking to myself, dog, this picture sucks. Like, I don't care. I don't care about it. Like, if you're going to post something, take your time. Get the angle. Show us that you care. Show us that you care about what you're presenting to the world right now. But Instagram is just full of bad angles and butt cheeks, and it's just like I don't have time for that. So I don't know. I follow some cool accounts. One of my guys in North Carolina, he's a real photographer, and I follow his stuff. I like the way he shoots. He's really good at his craft. So, I follow photographers and a couple of fitness accounts and my favorite, like, pop culture personalities, like comedians and shit. Like, I follow Joe Rogan, I follow Mark Wahlberg, guys like that. Shit's crazy, Yeah, but yeah, if you post a lot of bullshit, then I end up unfollowing people, depending on who they are. Sorry for these breaks. I'm drinking water. I'm trying to hydrate. I had a long weekend. A very long weekend. We So Friday I was off. Woke up at 3 in the morning. Went on a hike. Hiked Mount Rainier. Did pictures. Came back. Took a 2-hour nap. Chilled. Got my life together. And I picked up a friend. We went out. Got drinks and conversation. And what sucked, there was one bad part that happened. It was fucking crazy. So I'm driving in Tacoma. I hit this corner, and then next thing you know, I hear like this weird rotating thump noise. And I'm like, okay, I know this is coming from my wheel. My wheel's not flat or anything, but I could feel this thump. So I know I ran over something, but I don't know what it is. So I'm just going to ride it out. So I rode it out. We got to where we wanted to go. And then so I went outside to check my tire. And then what did we find? We found a fucking brake pad from a bike inside of my tire, like in my tire. And so if you don't know what a brake pad on a bicycle looks like, because, you know, some people just don't pay attention to shit like that. So you have the bike, you have the brake pads, the little black thing. Then there's a part that's screwed onto the black thing so you can kind of screw the caliper onto the brake pad, you know, so you can replace them and shit. And so it's like the screw was like in my tire. And what's crazy is like, I don't know how it happened because the head of the screw is it's flat. So it's like, I don't know, it probably hit a crazy angle, and or it's probably like sitting like in the road, you know, in between something to where it keeps it at a steady base where when my tire goes over it, it'll just go straight over it. And then, put a hole in that motherfucker, went straight through the steel plating that tires have, and I can't repair it, which is awesome, because now I have to get a new tire. Awesome. But that shit sucks. So I think they said they wanted like $160 for a new tire, because I have, they're not really low pros, but they're low enough to be a low profile tire, because I have the aftermarket rims and the tire thickness isn't that thick. So yeah, it's that special stupid shit, and it's like $160. And I was like, I'm not gonna buy that shit today, because of the simple fact that I don't like blowing that much money in one sitting. So I got a bunch of other shit I gotta take care of. And then yeah, I don't like paying for things that just come out of nowhere that I know I can wait on. You know what I mean? Because I have my Blazer still, and I've been wanting to drive it more often anyways. So I was just like, you know, I'll just take care of that tire shit in a couple weeks. I'm gonna drive my truck to work, because I just don't like that. Adulting is crazy because shit just pops up on your ass every now and then, and you're like, dog, I didn't plan on this shit. So it's whatever. I'm gonna drink some water, some more water. But yeah, so boom, put a hole in my tire. Luckily, I didn't like straight up pop my tire, because if I did that, then, you know, it would have been a fucking problem. Because then I have to tow my car somewhere. And I heard tow trucks are expensive as fuck if you don't got AAA. And I don't have time for that. And so, yeah. So, put a hole in my tire. And then, so we had to, after we left the bar that we were at, we dropped my car off. We got in my bucket Blazer. We drove to another spot. Hung out there. Left there super late. I think like they were closing. And then we went to Denny's for a late breakfast lunch thing, and I almost saw a guy get stabbed or something. Something was finna go down, because there's this group of dudes came in, right? And so I don't know what the fuck one of their friends was doing. I think he was drunk or something, but he was being like really obnoxious and annoying, right? So he was like trying to FaceTime someone in the middle of a Denny's at 2 o'clock in the fucking morning. Like, who are you FaceTiming at 2 in the morning at Denny's? Like, what? So, yeah, so you know when you FaceTime with an iPhone, it does that ringing noise, that high-pitched ringing noise. And, yeah, so he kept trying to FaceTime someone. And so the guy next to him was like, hey, like, can you, you know, tone that shit down or something? Like, it's kind of I'm trying to kick it here and eat my food, you know? And then so the guy that was trying to FaceTime, whoever the fuck, he was like mad. and like started talking shit, and I'm like, okay, when it's Denny's at 2 a.m. This is weird times. Shit might pop off. We're almost done with our food. We gotta get the fuck up out of here because I don't got time to be an eyewitness to somebody being murdered because it's not my day to do some shit like that. Don't got time for it. But luckily, the dude that was like mad, he like moved seats. So that was a smart thing to do because I don't like when people have altercations because like you could always tell, like me looking from the outside, I always look at a situation from all different angles. It's like, is it really that necessary to fight somebody over this shit? Can you just be like, fuck it? Because I don't really feel like dealing with them in that situation. It's like I have friends that they're down to fight no matter what, right? Me, I don't got time for it. I don't want to fight nobody or be around people fighting and shit if I don't have to be. Like, the only time I feel like I need to protect myself and, like, beat somebody's ass is if, you know, they're trying to, like, really fight me or really hurt me, you know what I mean? But if it's just, like, a bunch of words and shit, I don't care about that type of stuff. Never really bothered me. I just let it go and then go about my day. Because that way, you know, shit always escalates. Motherfuckers is crazy these days. You might mess around, say something crazy to somebody, and then y'all get close to, you know, confrontational. And then next thing you know, you get stabbed in the leg with a pencil. You're like, what the fuck? And then, you know, things just get worse from there because people are nuts these days. So, yeah, so we leave Denny's. And then, yeah, woke up the next day because I think we got home at like 3 or 4 in the morning. And then I went to bed, woke up at like fucking like 9. And it was hella weird because I was like, oh, I can't sleep in for nothing. So that was Friday. Friday was a really long day. And then Saturday I woke up, ran some errands. And then UFC 205 went down. Now, I'm going to be honest with you, man. I'm a Conor McGregor fan, but like I get tired of him sometimes. You know what I mean? It's like that friend that you have that you're like best friends, you know him for years, but then like if you're around him too much and like they talk a little too much, you're just like, all right, you're starting to piss me off and I'm going to push you down these stairs. You know, shit like that. And just how I started to feel about Conor, man. He's starting to piss me off, talking too much shit all the time. And then I was just like, all right, I think I'm gonna root for Eddie Alvarez because that's who he's gonna fight, right? So, because I'm thinking, you know, Eddie Alvarez, he fought, you know, Gilbert Melendez, he beat the shit out of Dos Anjos. That was Conor McGregor's original. That was McGregor's original opponent before that Nate Diaz shit went down. But it's because they didn't fight because Dos Anjos broke his foot. So then Nate Diaz came in to replace Dos Anjos, and then he beat Conor McGregor. And then, you know, obviously Conor McGregor beat him the next time. And then, but then between that time, Dos Anjos, he defended his title against Eddie Alvarez. Eddie Alvarez whooped his ass. And then Eddie Alvarez is the champion. And so they set that up. And I'm thinking, okay, Eddie Alvarez, he might put it on Conor McGregor. But that was not the case. I've never seen Eddie Alvarez go down so much in my life. And like, yeah, he got beat up, man. Conor McGregor got fucking hands. And I always forget about that. And I'm just like, man, he talks so much shit. But then I'm like, oh yeah, that's why. Because he can really box, which is nuts. Like he hit, I think on the knockout, he hit Eddie Alvarez 4 times before he hit the ground. I was like, that was a crazy accurate combination. Like, yeah, he hit him 4 times before he even touched the mat. And that was it, man. They call it a knockout. That was the end of the fight. So, Conor McGregor has 2 titles now. And, yeah, that's it. I can't hate the guy, but he can get pretty annoying at times. But, you know, he's still a great fighter. And that's it. I don't know who's going to take the title or, you know, who's going to beat him next or who's ever going to beat him. Because he's fucking, he's filthy, man. So, I don't know. The other fight, Tyron Woodley He fought Stephen Thompson. I thought Stephen Thompson was going to win because his athleticism and his style of karate, because he does point karate, is unbelievable. So I figured he'd be more elusive in the ring, whereas Tyron Woodley, like, he has punching power. He'll knock you out with like one punch. And, I was thinking that Thompson's elusiveness would, he'll win the fight because, he can move. He can move around the fucking ring, but that just wasn't the case because Tyron Woodley caught him a few times and fucked him up. So I was just like, yeah. So what was crazy though is that they ruled it a draw, which is cool because Tyron Woodley still kept his title, but at the same time it wasn't no fucking draw. It was bullshit. So that was good. That was a good fight though. And then the two Polish women, Joanna and Carolina. I'm going to say their first names because their last names are ridiculously hard to say. The two strawweight females, right? Good fight. Europeans in MMA, just in combat sports in general, they're fucking machines and they're really frightening to watch. Like, because they just have crazy chins and like their striking ability to me it's just deadly, and then like their will to fight is just different. You could just has a different kind of hunger to their fighting. Like they're in there, they're like, this is what I do. Like I don't have shit on the side that I do. Like I fight. That's it and there's nothing else. It's like Fedor Emelianenko, Mirko Kroop in the beginning, back in the Pride days. Who else? These two chicks from Poland. Young Alistair Overeem and his brother from the Netherlands. Something back in the day, though. Alistair Overeem now, he's not the same fighter that he was, but back in the day, he was cool. But, obviously, steroids were a huge thing, but whatever. Yeah. So, on Conor McGregor too. He's Irish, but it's just a different kind of animal when they fight, man. But yeah, so that strawweight fight was pretty good. What else? What else was the fight that went down? Oh, Chris Weidman, he fought Yoel Romero, and I really thought Weidman. I thought Weidman was finna die because Yoel Romero did this like jumping knee kick. Hit him in the side of his head, and just all this blood just started squirting out everywhere. I was like, dog, this dude's about to die in the ring. That was insane to watch. Brazilians, they don't fuck around in MMA at all. Like, I like watching them because they're about their business, and it's frightening. So, they're good fighters. They bleed that MMA shit and soccer. Yeah, so this weekend was fun, man. I was watching UFC fights all Saturday. So I started that from like 5 to like, I think we were done at like 9:30. Oh my yawning, I'm so tired. We were done at like 9:30. Went to a couple bars. I was beer drunk. Beer drunk is just a totally different drunk because you feel bloated, you feel weighed down, just things just gets a little slower, you feel full as fuck, you can't eat anything, and like, yeah, the world just slows down. And it was a good time though. It's a group of us, I think it was like 8 of us that went out, and then we went to another bar and played some pool. And then didn't get home till like 2:30, 3 in the morning, just knocked out. I fell asleep in a pair of Timbs. Like I wore boots last night and I slept in them on a couch, on a love seat, by the way. I'm 5'9", right? So I'm not that tall, but I'm too tall for a love seat. So like my neck was all broken and shit when I woke up. And my feet was asleep. So, yeah. So and also, what was interesting or good, I don't know. My coworker, he goes hunting, right? He shot a deer, right? So I'm like, he showed his pictures and shit, and I was like, hey, I know you got some deer meat. Did you butcher it? He was like, yeah, man, I'm butchering it right now too. And I was like, well, let me get some venison. And he was like, yeah, for sure. So he gave me some back straps. I grilled that up at my friend's house, ate that. Shit was good. Deer meat or venison, whatever, it's good. It's like beef almost, but just a little different taste. Different kind of taste. Same kind of beefy texture, but the taste is a lot different. Eventually, though, I want to try like elk. I want to try bear. I don't know. I'm like on a sausage kick right now, though, because I've been eating hot links. I guess the only thing that exists. Just because I do my keto diet during the week, and it's just easier to keep track of my fats and protein and stuff by just eating a sausage instead of having to weigh out ground beef and shit. Because I already know, like, majority of the sausages are all the same size. Don't have to weigh nothing, just cut it in half, and then boom. It's just easier that way. Okay? And it's quicker. Sausage is really fast to cook. So I'm not really, I don't know. That's just what I do. That's what I eat. They make fun of me at work because of it, but I don't care. I love it. I love it though. Yeah, so I took off of work from Friday, and all I gotta tell you people out there is that if you have the opportunity to take the day off of work, do it. Don't do it too much, obviously, but like, if you can not do a call out from work, but if you can like take time off and they allow it, as long as let them know. I'm not saying like call out like, oh, I'm sick, shit like that. I'm saying like, do that whole fill out the paperwork for a vacation or whatever, or a day off or a half day, because I'm a firm believer in home and work-life balance, so I don't get burnt out. And this week that's coming is our last full week, which is good because Thanksgiving, which I like about my job so much, is that they're giving us both days off for Thanksgiving and that Friday. So I got this full work week, and I got 3 days to work that following week, and then I got like a 4-day weekend, which I'm excited for because I was getting burned out. You're going to be at work sometimes, especially in the type of environment where it's really demanding and there's just a lot going on, such as construction or production, whatever the fuck. You could say I'm in construction in a sense. It's just so fast. It moves so fast all the time, and then next thing you know, you're working for 8 hours and you feel like you haven't got anything done, and then everything else is just piling up, and then it's crazy. So I needed Friday off. Even if my friends weren't going to go hiking, I told myself I'm going to go, even if I'm the only one that does go. And I made that shit happen. And I like being outside. Like, I made it an event out of it. So I get up to the spot where I wanted to go on Rainier. And what I didn't like about it now, I think they paved the path, which was really weird. The first time I did Rainier, it wasn't paved or anything. It was just, a little walkway on some gravel and shit, and you walk on that. But, like, it's, like, straight up asphalt now. So it's like I'm not even hiking. I'm just walking up a hill. That's how it feels now. So, yeah, man. So I walked up the path, and then, the little trail, and then it turns into, like, gravel and dirt and shit, because obviously it's going to be covered in snow most of the time if you're high up, or if you're, at a certain height. And so, yeah, I walked up there, and then I started seeing the snow and shit, and then I started walking kind of off the path. And then next thing you know, my foot just, like, drops into some snow. I'm, like, crotch deep in snow with one foot, and I'm like, all right, I'm not going to do this shit and risk my life, because I don't know where the path is anymore or how deep the snow is, and I didn't bring any snowshoes. So, so I stopped at this rock, and I just sat up there. I had a big-ass beer from Ninkasi. It was a Vanilla Otis. It was that oatmeal stout that they make. fucking bomb as fuck, good ass beer, and then I had a cigar. I smoked a cigar up there, and then I ate a fucking protein bar and just kicked it and listened to a podcast. So, yeah, I never smoked a cigar on a mountain before, so I did it. But the next goal I have is to like at least get up to Camp Muir one day. I'm not gonna do that shit by myself though. I'm gonna do that with some friends. But I want to hike up to Camp Muir and smoke a cigar up there because the air is crazy, man. It's really crazy up there. It's thin, and like I'd lose my breath. I was losing my breath as I was walking up that hill, like I was some fat person walking up too many flights of stairs. So it was just like it was different. I like it though. I like when the air's thinner. I like when it's crispier, a little cleaner, and then I just like being able to view the mountain range, being in the Cascades. So it was pretty awesome. I caught the sunrise. So I got to the trailhead at Paradise at like 6:30 in the morning, and then I started walking as it was getting a little lighter. But luckily I hit a good spot when the sun was coming up. And then so I was up there for like a good 2 hours, and then I came back down. And then I went home, napped it out. So yeah, that's what it was Friday, man. And you just have to get out and do something. You don't want to be the type of person that just goes to work and then goes home. I said that on every podcast, and I like to say it as a reminder because life is too short to just go home and go to work. You got to do things. And I mean, you're going to be more busier, but that's fine. Like, people want to be like, oh, I like my weekends because I just get to relax. And that's because you spend too much fucking time at work. You spend majority of the time working, and that's why your weekends are just spent at home. Or like you just don't have anything fun. Do fun shit for once. Fuck. That's all I'm trying to tell you guys. I'm telling you. Yeah, so I think, well, for me though, I've been going hard. I've been doing shit like every weekend for the past, since summertime. I need to relax. So I'm thinking I'm just going to chill out up until our Friendsgiving event, when we all meet up at a bar. I think like the Wednesday before Thanksgiving, like the day before Thanksgiving, we meet up and we get absolutely wasted. And yeah, so I think I'm just going to chill out for the next couple of weeks. And then next month, I'm going to see Louis C.K. I've told you guys that. And then we have a holiday party at my job. I got to do that. And I'm going to chill out again, relax. And then I'm going to my papa's house for Christmas and New Year's, which I'm excited for. I haven't seen them in like 2 years. And I'm going to try and get a lot of shit done out there. The Midwest is a weird place. I feel like I need to visit there more often, but it's just that it's not as appealing because there's nothing out there. Like, there's stuff out there, but it's not. It doesn't seem as if there's as many activities as there are if I were to go to like California or fucking Portland or, you know, the shit that's on the coast, like, you know, DC or, you know, New York. Isn't New York on the coast? Yeah. Or like Florida and shit like that. But when you're in the Midwest and, you know, you got fucking Indiana and Kentucky, you're like, oh, what's out there? I don't care about what's out there. But, I mean, you should travel to those places. So when I get out there, I'm going to try. I'm not going to try. I'm going to do it. We're going to go to, I want to go to Indianapolis. I got to go to Cincinnati. And I want to go down to Lexington, to Kentucky. And, yeah, kick it. But we'll see. Yeah, just want to travel some more. And then I think next year, I'm going to go back down to California and visit one of my friends in the Bay. And then I've been itching to go to, like, Alaska. Like, not like Anchorage. I've been looking at Juneau. One of my friends told me about Juneau, Alaska, and I looked it up. And it looks freaking beautiful out there. So I want to do something over there. So, like, flying to Juneau. Maybe go hiking if I can. I just gotta do research and make sure I'm going out a safe place so I'm not gonna get eaten by a fucking bear or something, because that'd suck. Or I could probably go on like a tour and bring my camera and act like I'm hiking. One of the two. Yeah. So, I mean, I ain't tripping, dog. What else, man? Groupon. Speaking of cameras, so I'm gonna teach y'all how to swindle Groupon. All right, they're gonna probably catch on, but so this is what happened, right? I ordered a tripod from Groupon because I'm like, I like the deals. I don't really care too much for brands, so I mean, I just need a tripod that I can put my camera on and shit like that. So I buy this tripod off of Groupon like 3 weeks ago. And then I checked the status of it like 5 days later. Nothing's changed. Like, they have a tracking number for it, but it doesn't show that it's shipped anywhere. It doesn't say anything. So I'm like, alright, it must have got lost or something. So then, like, I think, like a week went by and nothing, like, I didn't get a status on anything. Even checking the account, like, it said it shipped, and then that was it. And it was like nothing changed for at least like 6-7 days. So I just assumed they lost it. So I hit up Groupon via email, and I'm like, hey man, I ordered a tripod from you guys not too long ago, and I haven't gotten, like, there's no update to where it's at or if it's even coming, this and that. And they're like, oh man, I'm sorry about that, because they probably checked too, and they're like, ain't shit changed on here, so I don't know what's going on. So yeah, so I emailed them, right, and then they emailed me back, and they said, oh, we're going to give you Groupon bucks to pay for, or like a refund for the tripod that you ordered that never came to you. And I'm like, all right, that's cool. And then, so I got the money that the Groupon, the store credit basically, for the tripod. So I ordered another tripod, but it was a different one. So the new one has like a universal mount for my iPhone, so I could put that on the tripod. So that'll be pretty cool for when I try and do videos and stuff. And yeah. But then what's funny, the next day, the original tripod that I ordered was at my doorstep. And I'm like, what the fuck? So now I got 2 tripods for the price of one because I'm a fucking gangster. So next time you want to save some money, just email Groupon and be like, hey, I didn't get my stuff. And they're going to be like, all right, here's your money back. And you be like, all right, order another one. But I mean, it might not work for everybody. I think it only works if they could check the tracking and it shows to them like nothing's changed and it looks like it's been lost as well. And then, yeah, you just go from there. But I don't know. I'm not into swindling the system. But I technically scammed Groupon out of a tripod for a camera. So, fuck it. I'm winning right now. You feel me? I've been talking to you guys for 30 minutes. What's crazy though? So, like I was saying, we got a new president. We got a new president. Hold on. Hello? Okay. So, yeah, so we voted, man. Donald Trump is the president of the United States of Washington. I'm fucking tired. What did I say, Washington? The United States of America. Basically, the United States of Washington. Because obviously, Washington State's the only place that actually gets it. Everybody else is fucking nuts. What's crazy is that there's all these protests and stuff about him being president, which is totally understandable. I respect that shit. But then there's people beating up Trump supporters now, and I'm like, dog, it's just getting out of hand. What was kind of hilarious is that hold on, my bad. What's kind of hilarious is that people are up in arms about this shit. Like, yeah, Donald Trump did portray himself as a really shitty person, right? But at the same time, he finessed his way into being the president, because by doing all that extra shit, he somehow gave the wrong people a voice, which ended up in turn voting for him in these parts of America that nobody gives a fuck about, sometimes, unfortunately. And boom, next thing you know, there's way more red states than there are blue states. If you notice, a lot of the blue states were on the coasts, where I feel like in those areas, I don't know, I'm not going to say off like, for a fact, all these places are really diverse, in which they are, because I've been to, obviously I lived in Washington, there's Portland, there's Cali, and then you go to like Florida and New York and shit, and those places are actually pretty diverse, so I can expect them to not be Trump supporters. But then everywhere else in America, where the majority is, where there's a lot of white people and a lot of possible racists, maybe, and you don't know, or a lot of like Republicans, I guess, if they're in that category. I don't like categorizing people like that, but in that weird area where if you're colored, you don't want to drive in their rural areas and stop for breakfast, if you know what I'm saying. So those are the votes that he got, and there's a lot of those motherfuckers everywhere, and yeah, that's how he won president, in a sense. I mean, if a lot of people that voted for Gary Johnson and like Jill Stein, because I bet you they would have voted for Hillary Clinton, but they just didn't, because they obviously know that they have a right to their own opinion to vote for whoever the fuck they want to, and they're not going to vote for the winning team. Hillary would have probably won, but yeah, that wasn't the case. So it's going to be really interesting 4 years. I don't support racism. I don't like that Trump has these, racists that follow him, and he doesn't acknowledge it. He doesn't like bring it up like, I don't support you guys. I don't support none of this shit. But he doesn't say anything about it, and it kind of rubs me the wrong way. Like, it rubs everybody else the wrong way. I don't like the whole Muslim ban shit. What else? Mexicans. I don't like the way he's portraying them, and yeah, it's just gross to me, and it's gross to everybody else, But then what's weird is that once he became president, he took all that shit off his website. So I'm thinking maybe, just maybe, he just said all that crazy shit to get a certain vote, a certain group of people's vote. So I don't know. I don't know shit about politics, to be honest with you. So I'm just thinking. But I read an article on NPR of what Donald Trump was planning to do his first 100 days in office. And like, what was funny is that I wasn't against a lot of it. Like, his shit he was talking about was making sense. And so it's just going to be really interesting, to be honest. Like, we're not building no fucking wall around Mexico. That's not going to happen. What else? We're not banning Muslims. Get the fuck out of here. That's not going to happen either. And things like that. So, like I said, it's just going to be really interesting in the next 4 years to see what's going to happen. And yeah, because I'm not against Donald Trump. I'm not going to be all afraid like I'm going to be a slave or some shit because he's in office, or like the world's going to end, because there's a lot more other steps to follow before you can actually make change if you're a president. Because the majority of the time, if you're a president, you're just a face. You're just a face for the country. That's it. You're like, that's it. You're a representative of the entire country, basically. You can make decisions, but not really. Because there's a lot of steps to follow. So I'm not really too worried about what's going to happen in the next 4 years. Because, that motherfucker, the president's not making my lunch. They're not putting gas in my car. They're not waking me up every day. They're not, giving me my drive to do whatever the fuck I've been doing for these last 26 years I've been on Earth. So whoever the president is, I don't care. I'm not really too worried about it. I generally vote for whoever lies to me the best and makes the most sense. And that's it. So I'm not really too worried about shit like that. I voted for Gary Johnson anyways. So, and what's funny to me is when people say, oh, you're voting for them, like if you voted for Jill Stein or Gary Johnson, you're quote unquote wasting your vote. And I'm like, in my opinion, you're not wasting your vote if you're voting for someone you want to vote for. You're wasting your vote when you're voting for the winning team. You're voting for someone that a bunch of other people are voting for because you don't have your own opinion. You know what I'm saying? You want to vote for what everyone else is voting for because, if everybody else thinks it's good, I should think it's good too. Shit like that. So I don't vote that way. I think that shit is silly. And that's the reason why this country sucks at times when we're trying to make a decision. Because people don't know how to vote for shit. So I ain't tripping, Bo. So yeah, I voted for Gary Johnson. If you don't like that I voted for Gary Johnson, you can kick rocks. Cause I'm gonna do what I want, do as I please, boy. I don't know why I keep saying boy. Anyways, so that's what I voted for, Gary Johnson. He's wild, but I mean, and another thing is that I'm not too worried about Trump, man. That's all I'm trying to say to you guys. Although he promoted hate during his whole entire campaign and didn't acknowledge his racist neo-Nazi following, Ku Klux Klan following. I mean, it is what it is, but I'm not too worried about what's going to go down the next 4 years. So, stop beating up Trump supporters out there, guys. It's not worth it. Trump supporters, the racist ones, y'all better stop that or you guys will get beat up. Not by me, because I don't got time. I'm just going to laugh at you. Because I find racism very entertaining. Not in like the way of, you call me the N-word and then I'm just going to like laugh at it. I'm just going to like not really acknowledge it because for what? I mean, if you want to be racist and say racial things and not really, if you're not going to do it, I mean, if you're going to do something, then that's a totally different game. But if you're going to say some silly shit because, you have your ignorance, I'm fine. I'll just go the other direction and, continue doing what I do. And that's it. Because, I mean, for someone to hate someone else because of their skin color, it's so fucking silly to me. And yeah, I've talked about this trillions of times. To judge a person based off their character, where they teach you that shit. Judge a person based off their character and not off the way they look. Like, I don't give a fuck how you look. You know what I mean? I'm not going to judge you unless you're a shitty person. And I can tell you're a shitty person because you're being a shitty person. That's a totally different game, So, but I don't know. Some people are fucking idiots. What's today? It's November 13th, 2016. Yeah. So, 5 people got shot in Seattle, too. During the first protest after Trump was elected to office. It was nuts, man. Like, the world is a crazy place. I don't understand it. And it's a sad thing. Not a kind of sad thing. The shit is it's a sad situation that's going on. People want to speak their voice, but then there's other people that kind of take it a little too far, and then shit just hits the fan, and it's just like, I don't know. It doesn't have to get to that point, And I don't get it. Nobody gets it. It just doesn't make fucking sense. It's like, why, it doesn't make fucking sense. Doesn't make sense. So there's nothing I can really say about that, man. Me personally, I stay far away from drama. I'm not really into it unless like people I care about are in harm's way, like shit might go down, and if I'm not there to help, I don't want people to be seriously hurt, shit like that. But drama in general, I stay very far away from it, because it's just not worth it. It's not worth the energy. If you're into like problems and causing problems and making things into more than what it actually is, you're just a bored individual, and you have to get yourself a life, because there's bigger things in life to worry about than you and someone else having different opinions, or your baby mama is, dating somebody else or some shit, stuff like that. Just drama in general, whereas you don't really have too much control over. Why do you worry about it? Why do you waste your time and energy? Why Why are you searching for things to be angry about? Just live your own life and do things that make you happy. That's it. It's as simple it is. So life is way more simple than people make it sometimes. So I don't know. But I'm gonna get the hell up off of here. It's 45 minutes. I just wanted to see what's up with you guys, see how you doing. Just overall, man, from this podcast, take time off from work when you feel it's necessary. Enjoy the outdoors. When was the last time you did something for the first time? Ask yourself that, and then do some shit. Be happy. All right. I just was rambling today. Today was a really lackluster podcast because I'm just exhausted from my weekend, but it's all good. I'm gonna catch you probably this week sometime because to Darwin, he's in Palm Springs and he'll be back today actually. So we'll probably, me, him, and Mary will probably podcast next week, and we're gonna come with some fire this time. So you guys have a good night and have a great rest of your weekend. Sorry there's no music. I'm still trying to figure out this new software, but whatever. Y'all be easy. Stay out of trouble. Bye-bye.